Okay.
So guys, hi, good morning all. Welcome to Network Kings, and today we are starting with the Checkpoint batch. Okay, so this is a combination of Checkpoint, Palo Alto, Fortinet batch, like the people who already enrolled for Super Firewall combo. So there are three courses which is included in this: Palo Alto, Checkpoint, and Fortinet. Okay, so Vikas sir, over to you. You can start with the Checkpoint part.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gaurav, and welcome again, everyone, in this class of Checkpoint. Okay. So I will be taking care of your Checkpoint part, and I'll try to deliver my best. Before starting, let me just give you some understanding of myself. My name is Vikas, and I'm a network security engineer. Basically, it's been 11 plus years I'm into the industry. And apart from this, it's been 7 plus years I'm delivering this content to everyone. Okay. And then, like the main question comes that why you should learn Checkpoint. And the answer is very simple. And in fact, you know what? You have enrolled in this super combo batch, right? So you must have asked these questions to yourself already, right? Are you the one working in an environment where Checkpoint is being used, or Fortinet is being used, or Palo Alto is being used, right? And the answer was yes. That's the reason you have joined this class, right? Second question, do you think that in future you will be dealing with Checkpoint or FortiGate or Palo Alto? I think the answer would have been yes. That's the reason you have joined this batch, right? And the third, but not the least one, do you want to enhance your career in the firewall security, right? So any of the questions says yes. If any of the questions says yes, you are at the right place. Okay. And we are starting with the Checkpoint. Believe me, in Checkpoint, the concepts are very much clear, and I'll try to make it more clear to you, and it's easier to understand. All right. Then again, see, to understand or to learn any new technology, there are certain things which you need. And when I talk about any of the firewall technology or specifically the Checkpoint, you need these things. Basic knowledge of CCNA or more. At least you should be having the CCNA, right? Because if I'll be saying the IP address is 192.168.1.100/24, you should be able to understand what is this IP address and what is this 100/24 represents, right? Then basic knowledge of virtual environment. So if you want to create your own lab, you need to have this understanding. Otherwise, in networking, we have the lab environment created. We have the lab setup where you can have the access of the lab. This is our lab, and you can have the access of this lab, and you can create your own lab, right? Everything is pre-installed over here. You just need to have the access of this lab and just create a folder of file, and you are ready to launch your lab, right?
Yeah, guys. So you're getting a 3 month access if in case you enrolled for Checkpoint or individually for Checkpoint, we are giving a 3 months lab access. So within a 3 months, you can practice anytime. You can log into our servers, and there is no restrictions. One thing, okay, if in case you need to do this setup on your own laptop, you need a heavy, I can say the RAM, okay, and that laptop can be expensive. So just to kill that particular issue, we have our own labs to do everything on networking server. And because sir, I think recently we added few some advanced topic in Checkpoint. So can you tell me what the I think you last time you informed us there are two advanced topic which is added in Checkpoint.
Correct. So I will be coming on that part, Gaurav, in just 2 minutes
Yeah, sure. Thank you,
when
sir.
when I'll be covering the syllabus for this Checkpoint batch.
Mm.
So yes, as Gaurav mentioned, that if you want to perform the lab on your laptops, you need at least 8 GB to 16 GB of RAM, and most of the people will not be having that much of capacity, I would say. So it's good if you enroll in this batch or you have enrolled, so you'll be getting the 3 month access for that lab platform. All right. Now, the biggest question from like approximately everyone has that what I will be learning in this particular batch, right? So for your understanding, this is a CCSA and CCSE batch, plus we have added some advanced topics also. For an example, VSX and MDS, right? What is VSX? Virtualization of the firewall, right? What I can do, I can divide one firewall into multiple parts. If you are familiar with the Palo Alto, there we call it virtual systems, right? So what we do, we generally take a chassis of the firewall and we divide it into multiple firewalls so that we can use those multiple firewalls as the separate entity of the firewall. And MDS is multi-domain server, which says that you can manage multiple management server of Checkpoint at one place. So, how the Checkpoint certification works, you'll be able to understand from here that first, the basic step, like the CCNA in Cisco, we have CCSA. Okay. After CCSA, if you are comfortable with the CCSA, you will be coming to CCSC part, right? Like CCNP in Cisco. So it is Checkpoint certified security expert, right? And once you are CCSC level comfortable, you will be coming to the next level, which is VSX and MDS, right? So this topic, which we have recently introduced, this is a bit advanced one, right? This is a bit advanced topic, which we will be covering in this particular course. So this is CCSA plus CCSE plus VSX and MDS batch. So we will be covering all three modules in 2.5 months. This will be weekend batch, and the duration will be 2.5 hours per class. All right. Now let me discuss the course in a brief next 5 minutes. So this batch, this Checkpoint batch, how we drag this batch in networkings. One moment, let me have my pen. Okay. So what we do in networking, whenever we are delivering any of the courses, we always start the concept from zero. And our approach would be to drag this topic. Let's suppose we are studying cluster, right? What is cluster? Redundancy, right? Where we will be configuring two or more than two devices in a way that if one goes down, another one will be accessible and it will be forwarding the traffic, right? So let's suppose we are discussing cluster. So we start the cluster from zero and we drag it in such a way that we will be reaching on the 100th level of that concept. So what we will cover? We will cover the theory. We will cover the practical. And then we will cover some of the troubleshooting of that particular topic. That if there will be certain problems, how you will be able to troubleshoot, right? So theory, practical, and troubleshooting. We will be covering all the three phases of any of the single topic. So this is related to the topic. Now, when I talk about the firewall concepts, so similar to the topics, I will be starting from very zero. There could be certain people who are already working with the Palo Alto, Fortinet, or maybe Cisco. They already well versed with the firewall concepts. But for me, everyone is at zero, and I will be starting the course from the scratch. For an example, you can see I have mentioned here that I will be explaining you the history of the checkpoint first of all. In the initial class, I will be telling you that how the checkpoint has evolved itself as a technology, right? So we'll start from the zero. We'll discuss that. Let's suppose you are an engineer and you are sitting at a remote site, maybe in Noida or maybe in Mumbai. right? One of the location in India, and one of the local IT engineer has reached to the Dublin office, and he like they want to replace the firewall. Now this person is having one box with him. So what instructions you will be giving him by sitting in Mumbai or Noida, so that you will be having the access of that particular box which local IT has taken to the Dublin office, and how you can configure that office, what things you need to do that, how you will be taking the access of the firewall, what configuration you will be doing, right? Everything we will be covering in this particular batch. So we'll start from here, and then we'll drag you to the MDS and VSX level. If I talk about the basic things about this like basic brief of the topics: history of the firewall, lab creation, introduction, checkpoint components, right? What all components we have in checkpoint, right? Then concept of NAT and policies. See, whenever we discuss NAT, we always discuss UTNAT, which is very, very, very important. When you go to your interviews, it's 95% chances that you will be asked that what is UTNAT. Nobody will be asking that, okay, tell me the destination NAT, tell me the source NAT. No, they will be asking you UTNAT definitely. Because UTNAT, your concept of source NAT and the destination NAT both covers, right? And when we'll discuss this NAT topic, we'll discuss the source packet, destination packet, the packet level understanding. What will be the source IP address? What will be the destination IP address? What will be the source port, destination port? What changes will be there when the firewall will perform the NAT? What IP address will change? What port number will change? These all things will be discussing. The cluster Excel, load sharing, multicast and unicast. These two concepts are already phased out, but they are still available as an option in Checkpoint. So we need to discuss this, right? The troubleshooting of DOS attack. There is special mechanism in Checkpoint that if there will be any DOS attack on your environment, there is certain troubleshooting steps which you can perform, and you can block the DOS attack immediately on the interface level, right? Basic checkpoint troubleshooting command. If you are a L1, right, you'll not be doing the cluster troubleshooting. If you are a L1 plus, you'll not be configuring the cluster of VPN on the firewall. You need to know that how the firewall memory is going how high, right? Why you are getting like the threshold of CPU is going high. So how you will be able to check that? If there is a fan problem inside the box, how you will be able to check that? With the basic troubleshooting commands. What is the status of cluster? Which device is active? Which device is passive? How you will be able to see that? Basic troubleshooting commands, right? Backup. There are certain types of backup. Snapshot, import, export, revision control, right? Multiple type of backup. Like what is the use of snapshot backup and import, export, revision control, and so on. Then daemons. Now, what is daemons? Daemons are nothing. They are small processes, right? Because Checkpoint is a Linux based firewall, and inside the Linux you have small process for each and everything. For example, whenever I do control plus C, what happens? A copy operation, right? How this is happening? Because there is a small program which says that whenever a person press control and plus C, the copy should be there. Similarly, there are small processes in the Checkpoint which performs a lot of operations which we'll be discussing during the classes. Working of daemons. We understood that what are the daemons. Now, how the daemons are works, how they communicate to each other, which demon performing which task, every detail, small details. Now, when you will be, see, if you are a L1, L1 plus, snapshot, revision control, backups, and basic troubleshooting command works for you. But if you are a level 2 engineer, level 2 plus, level 3 engineer, there you don't need to perform the backup. You need to know if your firewall is not able to communicate with your SMS server or a management server, which daemon is the problem. You need to understand this, right? If your logs are not coming on the firewall, you need to check which exactly the service is responsible, which exactly daemon is responsible for the logging. You need to understand this. And how to check that? We'll discuss that. Then VPN configuration, side to side VPN, phase one, phase two. This is like, this is not related to checkpoint. This is basic security operation. VPN is part of every security course. And believe me, after this class, you don't need any video to watch. You don't need to any article to read. You will be well versed with the VPN. That's my guarantee. Okay. If you have doubt, you can ask to my previous students. They still thank me for the VPN classes. Okay.
Vikas sir.
Mhm.
So means you are giving us the all CLI commands to troubleshoot for phase
Yes.
one. The live means the live troubleshooting.
Yes.
Great.
We will be breaking our labs inside our lab. We will be troubleshooting those labs and we will be configuring those labs. Okay. We'll break the cluster in front of you and we'll make it again. Right. There are certain scenarios where I will be stuck in front of you. I'm doing the configuration is not working. In that case, we will be doing the troubleshooting in front of you. What was the problem? Why it was not working? Why log was not coming? What was down? Everything we will be seeing here. Right. After that, VPN, you will be having a remote access VPN. Now, after COVID, you all know how much important the remote access VPN is for any of the organization, right? Right.
Right, yeah, right.
So we will discussing the remote access VPN solution from Checkpoint. Then acceleration. Now, this is very much interesting topic. Acceleration. This is one of the core feature of Checkpoint. And this is the feature which makes Checkpoint stand out from all of the vendors. You know, we say, right, Checkpoint is the leaders in the firewall section. We have three vendors: Checkpoint, Palo Alto, and Fortinet, right? Acceleration is one of the reasons Checkpoint is in the leaders. Believe me, when we'll discuss this secure Excel and core Excel, you'll be able to understand what exactly happens inside the firewall, that security extensive processes has been increased of the firewall. All the cores of the firewall will be increased immediately. The performance of the firewall will be increased, right? With this, you have all the layer 7 features. We say that Checkpoint is a layer 7 firewall. We'll be discussing all the features, right? Apart from this, user ID and the LDAP integration. These two topics are very important for your administrative career as a firewall administrator. If you'll be working with level 2 or you'll be working in projects, this task is very much important for you. You need to deploy Checkpoint. You need to add AD with the Checkpoint, right? You need to have your users which are available on the AD to come on the Checkpoint, and in your Checkpoint logs, you should be having the username of the users. That this user was having this username and this IP address, he tried to access this particular thing, right? So this thing we'll be doing, we will be configuring a AD server in our environment, and we will be integrating that AD server with our Checkpoint. And then we'll see the person whose name is Golu Singh was there on the AD. Now the same username Golu Singh is coming on my firewall. We'll see this integration. Apart from this, till here, everything is configuration and basic troubleshooting. Then we have the advanced troubleshooting. Let's say the traffic is coming on, like you're not able to, like, let's suppose you are doing a troubleshooting and you are not able to see the logs on the GUI of the firewall. What option you do have? You need to have the advanced troubleshooting. this is the level 2 plus or level 3 troubleshooting. You need to run the TCP dump. Now, TCP dump is very simple command. You can go and you can run on the firewall. But the moment you will do that, there are 90% chances that you'll be breaking your firewall immediately. Because this is very CPU intensive firewall, and your CPU will be 99 or 100% utilized, and your firewall will be rebooted immediately. So how to use TCP dump in a certain way that you'll not make your CPU utilization high till the 100th level. We'll discuss this, right? Every syntax, how to make the syntax, which particular syntax will make what impact on the firewall. We'll discuss that. Now, if you are getting certain output in TCP dump, but you are not able to make any sense out of it, then what is the option? FW monitor. Another, like level 2 of the TCP dump. Like, so you on the basic level of troubleshooting, you have TCP dump, then you have FW monitor, then you have ZDebug. So these are 3 level of troubleshooting. We'll discuss that in which situation you should be running which particular command, which particular scenario you need to troubleshoot, right? And what is the difference between all of 3? What, like, how to read the output of TCP dump, and how the TCP dump output is different from the output of FW monitor, right? Then the advanced deployment architecture like VSX, where to use it, benefit, deployment, and the lab. Then MDS, concept of MDS, where to use it, benefit, deployment, and lab. So, these are the very basic, brief topic listing I have done in this particular, syllabus part. But believe me, there are hundred of topics which is not mentioned here. For an example, Gracious ARP. It's a core feature, core of the cluster, which we'll be discussing. But Gracious ARP is not mentioned here, right? So there are hundred of topic which is not mentioned here, but we will be discussing in our lab.
Uh, Vikas sir,
Hmm.
this is Vicky sir. You will also know that iOS updation of checkpoint, like individual or
iOS upgradation,
right, right.
correct. We'll discuss that. How you
Okay,
can
sir.
how you can take the use of CPUs, the checkpoint upgrade utility. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So see, I don't have much time today, okay, because we have multiple classes scheduled for today. This batch will be starting from next Saturday. So if you have already enrolled, we'll meet on Saturday. If you have not enrolled, you can connect with Gaurav or the networking team. You can enroll in this batch, right? And we'll start the classes from Saturday. For today, I will be discussing a very small and a very brief topic, which is traffic control methods, right? So you all know, right, what firewall does, right? So before starting this traffic control method, I want to touch one basic topic of the firewall. You must have heard about the firewall, right? Everybody know what is the firewall? Or do we have anyone who does not know the firewall? Hmm? Though I
Yes,
will
sir.
discuss
Basic no.
basic
Basic
understanding you
no.
have, right?
Right, right.
Okay. Don't worry. If you don't have, don't worry about it. We'll discuss this thing in the first class on Saturday, right? We'll discuss what is a firewall, what is a basic firewall, everything I'll discuss. Don't worry about it, okay? So, but for now, if you have basic understanding what is a firewall, if you have that, that's fine. Now, do you know, you must have heard another term called next generation firewall, right? Have you heard or not?
Yes, sir. Hard.
Right? And
Yes,
basic
sir.
understanding, you must have heard that the firewall works on layer 3 and like between layer 3 and layer 4, and next generation firewall works on layer 7. This is the basic difference. You might, if you go to the Google and if you search the difference between the firewall and next generation firewall, you'll be able to see this definition. That basic firewall works between layer 3 and layer 4, and the next generation firewall works on layer 7. Fine. What it does on layer 7? So when we say that layer 7, on the layer 7, we have packets. Inside the packets, you'll be having source, destination, source port, destination port,
or port number, right?
right? MAC addresses and everything inside the packet. You'll be having a whole bunch of data, right? So on the basis of that, you have certain type of packet filtering mechanism, and the first mechanism is packet filtering. What do you mean by the sorry? Like you have certain traffic control mechanism, and inside that traffic control mechanism you have the first mechanism, which is packet filtering. What it does, what it says, huh? It says simple thing, very simple thing, that whatever is coming on the firewall, whatever packet is coming on the firewall, open the packet, filter the information, right? Filter the information and filter the information and take the decision accordingly. For an example, this is my firewall. The font and the screen is visible to everyone, I hope, right? This is my LAN. This is my WAN, right? Now what happens? The traffic is coming from the LAN and it's going towards a WAN. So the first mechanism of the traffic control method, which is packet filtering, says that whatever packet coming to the firewall, open that packet, check the certain information. Now what are those information? Those informations are the source, destination, and your port number, right? What are those information? Source, destination, and the port number.
Port.
So if there are a million of packets coming to the firewall, the packet filtering says you need to open all of the packets. What it says? You need to open all of these packets. Now tell me this. In today's world, where we are dealing of data which is in terabytes, can you imagine how many packets will be there in 1 TB? Hmm? A billion of packets. And is it possible for any of the firewall to handle this much of packet filtering? Like each and every packet should be able to capture and open the packet, check source, destination, the port number, direction, and the action for that, whether it's allowed or denied or not, and take the action accordingly. Is it possible for each and every firewall to do that for each and every packet? No, it's not possible. This method was very much useful when we were discussing that we had the internet link of 128 KB, right? Remember the era of 2002, 2005, 2006, when the internet links was having the capacity of 512 KB. In that time, that mechanism was very much this mechanism was very much important and useful, but nowadays this is useless. You'll not be doing anything apart from your increasing the throughput, like CPU and the memory of the firewall. You'll not be achieving anything from this mechanism. Okay, then the next stage of this, the traffic control method, it comes the stateful inspection. This is very important process, guys. If you understood this, you'll be able to understand the next generation firewall. To explain this, let me open my OneNote. So what happens? Just understand this. Let's suppose you have a firewall, and I'm not talking about the next generation firewall. For now, I'm just talking about your normal firewall, right? So this is my LAN, this is my WAN, right? What happens whenever any traffic comes to the firewall? So let's suppose there is one user, right? This is a user. His name is Golu Singh. Now, Golusing wants to access one server which is available on the internet, and the server is here. And let's suppose this server is google.com. Now, Golusing want to access Google, and Google's IP address is a.8.8.8. This is the Google's DNS, but let's suppose this is the IP address of Google, right? Now, the first thing which will be happening on the Google Golusing's PC is the DNS lookup. Everyone, correct or not?
Right.
The first thing will be happening is DNS lookup,
DNS lookup.
right? So the moment the DNS lookup will be happening, let me write it down. The first thing will be happening the DNS lookup, right? With the DNS lookup, the PC of the Golusing will be getting the IP address of Google, right? Then the TCP handshake, correct or not? What happens in TCP handshake? Your SYN packet will go to the Google server. The server will respond to the SYN packet, right? And then the Golusing's PC will send the acknowledgement for that SYN acknowledgement, right? Three-way handshake. The TCP dump will be happening. After the TCP dump, your SSL handshake will be happening, right or not? Everyone.
Right.
The SSL handshake, because google.com works on HTTPS. So to have the HTTPS, to have the Google space, first we need to exchange the SSL handshake, and then your HTTP get request will be going on the server, right? So these all operation will be performed between the Golusing and the Google server. Okay. Now, do you know, in TCP handshake, you exchange total 3 packets. How many packets? 3 packets. And in SSL handshake, you exchange 9 packets. We'll discuss these packets, don't worry about it. And then in HTTP, let's suppose to get the Google's page on the Golusing PC, you have exchanged 200 packets. Right? Total how many packets? Let's suppose 210. Total how much? Total 210 packets. Right? Now, you know what? Let's suppose the traditional firewall is checking the policy for each and every packet. And it's taken, sorry guys, my pen stops working in between because I think I need to restart my laptop. That's the reason I need to, type manual things over here. So bear with me. You'll be able to understand the concept, don't worry. Okay. So let's suppose to process 210 packets. To process one packet, the firewall is taking approximately 2 seconds. Although the firewall processing, the time of the firewall processing is very high, it's not 2 seconds. 2 seconds is very much, very high number. It happens in 2 millisecond or 1 millisecond. But for your understanding, I'm just taking this number. Let's take example that to process one packet, it is taking 2 seconds of time. So to process 210 packets, how many seconds? Everyone? 420 seconds? Huh? Because what it's doing in 2 seconds, it's holding the packet, it's taking the source and destination, it's going to the policy base, it's checking the I have any policy on the firewall which say that from this source to the destination, this port number, it's allowed. Do we have something? Yes or no? If yes, action is allowed, then pass the traffic. If no, action is dropped, deny the traffic. Let's suppose the first packet has been reached out from here to here. From Golusing to Google, the first packet has been reached out to Google server. Now, second packet has been coming. So in TCP itself, we have 3 packets, right? Let's suppose the TCP SYN request has been forwarded, and all the lookup of the firewall has been done on the firewall, and the connection was allowed. So when the google.com will send back the SYNAC, when it will send the SYNAC, again the firewall will hold the packet, it will check the source and destination, it will go to the policy section, it will again match that do we have one particular do we have the source matching destination, matching port number, and the action is allowed or not. So if you have approximately 2000 policies and the policy for this google.com stands on 1850th position, right? So for each and every incoming and outgoing packet, it will check at least 1849 packet, and after that on the 1850th position, this rule will be matched and this traffic will be processed. This is the normal behavior of your firewall. So with this, it's taking to process one packet is taking 2 seconds, right? To process all the 210 packets, it will take 420 seconds. I hope this number is very much clear to everyone. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Anyone? You are free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, but in this case, if some issue happened between, then again it will
Yes,
reset.
retransmission will happen.
In that
Right?
situation,
So
time will.
it will increase. Yes, then time will increase. Okay. But I have not taken that time in this transition. I'm expecting that everything will go smoother. Okay, that's fine. Now, this is the first like normal firewall behave. Now, let's take an example. I have changed this firewall. Instead of this firewall, I am placing a new firewall here, which is the next generation firewall, which is a uh, which is a next generation firewall. And now, what next generation firewall does? It does the stateful inspection. What it does? Stateful inspection. Now, what do you mean by stateful inspection? The moment whenever you see, like whenever you hear the stateful inspection or something, it means that the firewall will be maintaining one state table. What it will be maintaining? State table. Okay. What is the state table? In this state table, you will be having certain information. For example, the source, the destination, source port, destination port, action, and direction. Or in fact, you can ignore the direction. This is the 5-tuple information: source, destination, source port, destination port, and action. Okay. This is the 5-tuple information. In your interviews, you will be asked that what is a 5-tuple information a firewall maintains, right? This is the information in 5-tuple information, and this will be maintained in the state table. Why it will be maintained? What is the reason for that? Reason is pretty much simple. The concept of stateful inspection says that if you have a server and you have a user named Golu Singh, and they want to establish a connection over the internet, that's fine. But whenever the first packet is TCP SYN, everyone.
Right.
Server architecture, right?
Port
The TCP SYN
or
will
not?
go to the firewall. Right? TCP SYN will go through the firewall. Now firewall will perform the same operation, like it will check the source and destination IP addresses, port numbers, and the details. It will check the policy base. We have the policy base of 2000 policies, right? And this rule through which this packet has to be processed belongs on 1850th location. So it has to check all the previous 1849 rules, and after that, on this position, the rule will be matched and the traffic will be allowed and forwarded. The moment the firewall will forward this traffic toward the destination, immediately it will maintain the entry in the state table. What information? The source information, destination information, source port, destination port, and the action was allowed. Okay, that's fine. What is the benefit? Benefit will be from the second packet. When the SYNAC will be coming, the packet will be intercepted by the firewall. Now firewall will not go again and check the 1849 ACLs or the policies. It will not go and it will not check it. It will simply check the state table first, that do I have an entry for this? And because just a second ago the TCP packet was allowed and the state table entry was made, so this entry will be available here for the same source destination port numbers, right? So immediately what the firewall will do, from the second packet itself, the policy lookup will be bypassed. The policy lookup will be bypassed. The traffic will be allowed through the state table. Make sense or not?
I have one question.
Yes, Pravesh.
In the state table, only TCP session will maintain stateful firewall.
Yes, yes.
Not all the packets. The
No,
220 packets you said it won't maintain. Okay.
No, only one. Like the state table will not maintain the packet; it will maintain the information.
Okay.
Right. So all the 200 packets, 210 packets, this information will be same, right? Which was there in SYN packet, the same information will be there in the all the 210 packets, because this is not a scenario, right? Where after the SYN, your source IP will be changed. Is it the scenario? No. Your source will be same, your destination will be same, your source port and the destination port will be same. So state table always maintains the information, not the packet detail, right? Not the packet, the information of the packet will be maintained. So let's suppose the 2-second timer it was taking. So if I'll bifurcate the 2 second, 1 second out of this 2 second was to perform all the operations of the firewall, and 1 second was to perform the policy lookup of this 1850 policies. Right? Let's suppose if you want to check all the 2000 pages of a book, and the concept you are looking for is relies on the 1850th book, and you don't have the page number, then how you will be reached to that particular page every time? So whenever you need to check that concept, you need to flip all the pages again and again. Then after some time you will be reaching on that particular page, that okay, this is the concept. But with the help of state table, you will be having a page number on the book. So on the 1850th page, you have this information. Immediately you check that information and you pass on. Right? So this is the stateful inspection. Now, to process one packet, the first packet, the firewall will take the same time, 2 seconds. But to process rest of the 209 packets, firewall will take only 1 second to process 209, and the time will be 209 to process these all packets and plus these 2 seconds. So it will be 211 seconds to process this 210 packets. Now tell me this, which is a good approach? This 420 seconds or this 210 11 seconds? Which one you will prefer?
The second one.
Second one. And that is your stateful inspection. Whenever you hear stateful inspection, this is your stateful inspection. Do we have any rocket science in this? Everyone,
Yes.
it's very simple concept, right? It is
Uh,
simple because I have explained in a way, right?
Sir, I have one question. Can I
Yes.
ask? Suppose we have
Mhm,
one policy, land to WAN.
mhm,
So in
mhm.
state section, we don't require that reverse policy, right? For that.
Reverse pulse, no. Because of the
Okay.
stateful inspection, you don't
Yes,
require
sir.
the reverse pulse.
Okay, got it, got it.
Okay. And you know,
Yes, sir, got it.
this state table is called has multiple name. Connection table, right? Connection oriented firewall. This is means it holds the connection information. Stateful inspection means it will maintain a state table, right? So multiple names are there for this state table. I hope this is clear to everyone, right? Now, this stateful inspection, this thing is being followed by all the vendors nowadays. Every firewall vendor provides this functionality, but this inspection mechanism was developed by Checkpoint. Checkpoint was the company who developed, who created this particular method, which is being used by all the firewall vendors nowadays. And after this, we have application awareness firewalls. This is also a feature in the next generation firewall where we filter the traffic on the basis of their application. Means we say if it's Facebook, block the traffic. Hardly matters if there are 200 packets coming, 200 connections coming, block Facebook, block torrent immediately. How the firewall is like dropping the packet on the basis of the application details. So firewall is well aware with the application. Approximately 4,000 or 5,000 applications are supported with the checkpoint right nowadays in your lab. In your production, you'll be having maybe 16,000, 17,000 applications. But in lab, we will be having limited access, right? So we will be having 4,000, 5,000 applications. Your firewall knows what is Facebook, what is torrent, what is Twitter, what is shopping websites, what is dating websites. Your firewall knows that, right? So this was the
Yes, sir.
traffic control method, guys. I tried to explain. Do you have any doubt? You can ask me right now.
Sir, I have one more question. That in
Mhm.
Fortinet, we know if we blocking any website, any application, we require a license. So here we also require a license for.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
You
For
need
app.
one license for application awareness. If the
Okay.
license is there, you can block any application.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Anyone else? Anything? Nothing? If no questions, that's all from my side, guys. I have very limited time today. I tried to cover up this particular topic. Otherwise, this takes approximately 1.5 hours to cover, right? Don't worry, we'll discuss this topic again in our classes. But for now, that's all from my side. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any query, any doubt regarding the admission, batch timing, anything, you can reach out to Goro or the networking stream anytime. This batch will be starting from next Saturday, 11 a.m. in the morning. The duration will be 2.5 hours every weekend. Okay?
Because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, please.
actually I lost power for last 10 minutes. So what I miss actually, I just reconnected. So can you tell me what I missed last 10
what you missed, really, like I'm not very sure about what you missed, but you missed anything, don't worry about it. We'll discuss this thing again in our class, in our classes. Okay.
So tomorrow there is no class, right? Sunday.
No, tomorrow will not be any class. This batch will be starting from 9th of August.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have any doubt or anything, you can connect with Gaurav and the networking team.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
sir. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Vito, sir.